I got a call last week, one of the most amazing calls of my life. This is absolutely incredible. This man is a Chabad Chassid. He's a Baal Tshuva for many, many years. And he married a woman who's a Baal Tshuva, also from Chabad. And she had some children from a previous marriage to a guy. And that father is gone out of the story. And he raised her kids, and some of them were raised by him, some of them were not, whatever. Bottom line is, fast forward, he's much older now. And she has a daughter, and this daughter is about 30 years old. And she has a few kids, and she is completely not religious. She's an atheist, she doesn't believe in anything. And she lives in a different country. She's a professor. And she has these kids that she's raising like Goyim. For whatever reason, she went on sabbatical and she left that country and she moved into his house. She's in the house for a couple of months. And he's from, and his wife is from. And he asked her, please be respectful and please do this and please do that and please don't this and please don't that. And she is so rebellious. And he went on a 30-minute, like vomiting out his pain. He's not a youngster. He's probably in his 60s. And he was Bikesh Yaakov Leishev B'Shalva, right? He just he wants to be home with his wife and have a nice life. And all of a sudden, this stepdaughter, who's from a different country, and she's brilliant, but she's there in his space, making him miserable. She's smoking weed, it's smelling in the house. He says, please stop, she won't stop. She's feeding her kids, they only have kosher, but, basar and then chalav. And it's just, his whole world is being destroyed. And he's getting worse and worse, and he's getting more upset at her and more frustrated, putting more rules or more anger, and she's getting worse, and they're in a war, and his whole life is ruined. She went on vacation now for a few days, and he wanted to write her a letter. Hi, dear, let's say her name is Stacy. Thank you. Dear Stacy, please don't come back. Love, not so love, stepfather. I have a few days of menuchas hanefesh. It's quiet. Why would I want this back in my life? Okay, and this was 30 minutes of really had a lot of pain, and I felt so bad for the guy. Okay, so I don't really give advice over the phone, but it happened, right? He's like, it's happening now. This is what I want to do. So what does your wife say? So this woman gets on the phone, really sweet woman, and she's like, everything's fine, she's not bad, it doesn't matter, we'll be nice to her, it's okay, like really easy schmeezy. And he says, you see, that's my wife, everything's fine with her, never complained since the day I met her, everything's fine. And I'm listening to him, I'm like, where did you find her? Who is your shadchan? He says, the Lubavitcher Rebbe. So I said, well, then I think you should go back to the Rebbe and you should say, Rebbe, you made a mistake. Yeah, you gave me a wife that never ever complained in 30 years and I'm the luckiest guy in the world. But look what baggage she came along with. She came along with these kids, and now she's back in my life and she's destroying my life and she's ruining my life. Why don't you go complain to the Rebbe? So when you tell a Chabad Chassid, why don't you complain to the Rebbe, he gets very quiet. He's quiet. I said, let me ask you a question. What do you think the Rebbe would tell you to do? So much easier with Chabad, right? What do you think the Rebbe would tell you to do? He's quiet. He's a real Chabadsker. He became from like 30 whatever years ago, 40, 35 years ago, and he knows. So he says, yeah, the Rebbe, only positivity. The Rebbe would tell me to compliment her and shower her with love. I said, and what do you think would happen if you did that? He says, I would have no problems with this lady, with this girl. He said, it just hit me, you're right. I caused all of this. I showed her I didn't want her when she moved in. I didn't want her in my space. I showed her a mean face, an angry face, a disappointing face, all the faces. And she rebelled against me, and I caused all of this. If I followed what I know my Rebbe would say, I would have none of this. I said, you have 3 neshamas over here that Hashem sent into your life. We don't know. We're not Kabbalists, but we know that everything's bashert, and we're all Gilgulim. So maybe in a previous lifetime, you threw these 3 kids out of school, or you hurt them. Bottom line is, these 3 neshamas are now in your house, and you want to send them out to, that's it, they're Goyim. They're going to be raised as Goyim forever. And now she wants to be in your house. Hashem sent them to you. You have to show her and these kids that there is no nicer, warmer, kinder, patient person in the universe than a Jewish person, than a From Yid. You have to show her more warmth than all the Goyim out there. You have to show these little kids. You never know what the story is going to be, right? Why didn't Eliphaz kill Yaakov? Because he grew up on Zaydi's lap, and everybody said to Zaydi Yitzchak, what are you doing TP? What are you wasting your life? Throw Esav out of the house. He brings in shiksas, and they're doing Avodah Zarah in the house. And one of the reasons it says that Esav became blind is from the smoke of the Avodah Zarah. Why didn't he tell them, no smoking in the house? He said, no, in the house. In the house. Whatever you're going to do it in the house. Because since I have Esav here, I also have his little shagets, Eliphaz, right, his grandson. I get to have him around on my lap. Said the stipler. And guess what happened because of that? The entire Klal Yisrael is alive. Because if not for that, Eliphaz would have killed Yaakov. There's no us. Every single Jew, the entire Klal Yisrael is alive because he didn't kill him. What did he do? He found the loophole and he stole his money. And the stipler used it also. They asked him a question about a boy in a school, in a high school, in Mesivta. He was stealing from the Bachram. They wanted to throw him out of the house. He said, you see over here, you should keep him close as they'll bleiben a ganef and nishkan retzeach. He should remain a ganef but not become a murderer. He said, Eliphaz, he was a ganef, but he wasn't a murderer because he was close to the home. So the stipler said, it's true, I feel bad for the other Bachram. They're going to lose their watch and some money and their wallet and whatever, right? Keep the kid in yeshiva. He should be a ganef, but not a retzeach. He won't end up being a murderer if you send him out. So, this guy's telling me, yeah, you're right. I have a chance to save these neshamas. You never know what the future will be with them. Maybe one day, who knows what? You're 100% right. And the turnaround was like terrifying. It was just boom, less than 2 minutes, 3 minutes, the whole thing. And then he tells me the craziest thing. This is what you're going to love. He says, about between a week and 2 weeks ago, recently, my brother-in-law calls me up and tells me that the Lubavitcher Rebbe, the Rebbe, came to me in a dream. And he told me to call you, let's call him Chaim, and tell you to give Stacy $1 from me, the Rebbe. Just recently. And he said, when I got that, he said, I stopped with the animosity, and I really was a little bit better, but I wasn't being good. And now that she left, I wanted to write her that letter goodbye. But this just happened recently. I said, so what'd you do? He says, it's amazing. If I would have had $2, it wouldn't have been a problem. I would give her a second $1. Most people have more than $1, right? He said, I only have $1. It's the most precious thing in the world to me. It's his connection to the Rebbe. It's where he started. It's the first time he met the Rebbe and he got $1. And he keeps this like he wouldn't sell it for, $1 million. But the Rebbe said I should give her $1. I only have $1. So I thought about it and I gave her my $1. I said, so don't you see what the Rebbe's doing? He's like, yeah. So the Rebbe wanted you to give up of yourself and to invest in her. To give her something that's so precious to you. Right? To give up your $1 that's so precious to you. To give it to her. And that's nafshik shur banafshay, to bond. The sherish of the word ahava, love, comes from the word hav, Rav Dessler says, to give. The Rebbe wanted you to give her you. Give her a piece of you. Something that represents your gashmius, your emotional satisfaction, and your ruchnius. And to give it to her. Why her? She's not from, she's an atheist, doesn't believe in God. Give it to her. The Rebbe was telling you to make space for her. The Rebbe was telling you to give up of yourself, of what you need, of your importance, right? Make space for them. Bring them into your life. Make them feel good and special. And that's what he pledged to do right then and there. And I'm sure we'll hear good things from them. What a story. It's interesting that there are a lot of Chabad families that are here that know what to do with Yanim, with other people's kids. When it comes to their own kids, the pain is so great that they can't get over that one little thing of, you should know better. That's the whole story. The blockage is, you should know better. What takes out that blockage is, they do know better and they were hurt, which is even more difficult to be from after you're in pain and hurt by from people than the ones who don't know anything at all.